Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, and I will. The Pink Lady has said a reminder, Sam, when you're mispronouncing Vivek's name, that y'all took issue with racist and sexist mispronouncing Kamala Harris's name. It's also just not a. It is not a very clever joke. I am not mispronouncing his name because it's. I am doing it with a very specific agenda in mind, calling him smarmy.
Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland of the Majority Report discussed the ongoing battle within MAGA between the MAGA base and Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy over immigration. We're going to take a look at these clips from the Majority Report. I'm going to share my thoughts on this as well. Let's get into it together.
So what Musk and Ramaswamy seem to be saying here is that, look, there are aspects of cultures outside of America that breed excellence. And when people come to this country as immigrants, because he's also saying it was immigrant families too. When immigrant families come to this country, they also breed excellence because they are so much more focused on success. If this is a function of immigrants, right? They're just saying immigrants. They're not saying rich immigrants. If it's just a function of immigrants, why in the world would this not apply to someone who has come into this country to work on farms, to pick peaches, to work in construction, to work wherever they are working? They have the same ethic, according to Vivek and Elon. Why should it only apply to the workers that they hire to bring in? I got no problem with allowing labor to have as much ability to enter this country as we do, or exit this country as we do with capital. Yeah. That's all well and good. And if we're to take their argument seriously, that there is a culture that these immigrants have that causes them to pursue excellence more than is in this country, then we should probably allow more immigrants in so we have more of that culture.
I think Sam Seder is right with what he's saying. He's been being a little bit facetious, I believe, with Elon and Vivek in terms of their hypocrisy. I think it really simply comes down to those particular immigrants, the immigrants from Mexico or Central and South America, are not the immigrants that Elon Musk and the other tech bros are exploiting. They're exploiting people from India, mainly. If Vivek and Elon Musk owned hotels or farms or something like that, then they would probably be fighting for immigrants from Mexico and Central America and South America to come into the country rather than the immigrants who are doing tech jobs. I think that's simply it. It doesn't really have anything to do with belief about work ethic or anything like that. They just want to exploit people from India.
That's immigrants working hard to achieve the American dream is a trope that we've known our entire lifetimes here, right? But the culture is not something that's inherent. It's a reflection of not having, say, generational wealth like more white people do in this country than any other ethnic group. It's a function of the fact that they have been uprooted and are starting from scratch and have no choice but to work as hard as they can and to make as much money and to live and have kind of things like vacation or off time or family time much less than most Americans. And what the freaks like Elon Musk and Ramaswamy are saying are that they want more of that. They want to engender more desperation, whether it be via the threat of deportation for undocumented workers, or whether it be through programs like H-1B. They want to it's not about inherent culture. It's about creating that culture of fear and desperation to extract as much as they can from a workforce.
It's about work or starve. Like, that's the culture here. And like Bernie, Warren Gunnels points out, who was like a Bernie advisor, I believe, the very first amendment Bernie passed in the Senate would have substantially increased the fees companies pay to hire H-1B guest workers to fund scholarships for Americans pursuing degrees in science, engineering, and math. It passed 59 to 35 in 2007, but did not become law. And people have done studies on this, that the H-1B program has moved people domestically to not seek those fields because it is suppressing the wages, regardless of how much these people make. And you might feel like it's the same thing with sports. It is serving the capitalists at top, both the people picking stuff out of fields and the guys doing code for 80 hours a week. The people who are making money off this are capitalists. That's why Trump used illegal labor in Trump Tower. That's why Elon likes these programs, because he can say, oh, you don't like this? See ya,
Exactly.
sayonara.
100%. Matleck is exactly right about this. And imagine if we actually had policies in place like what Bernie was trying to get through here. You know, this would be if Donald Trump were actually America first and actually cared about Americans. We know he doesn't. But if he did, he would say, you know what, this is a great opportunity to have a conversation about these visas and these people doing tech work that Americans could be doing, you know, that could be high salary positions. And, you know, Trump could say, unfortunately, we have to bring some of these people in because there aren't enough people to do these jobs who are American-born citizens. But that's why I'm going to do a new moonshot level program where we are going to invest money to educate people within the United States to do these jobs. You know, if you go into field XYZ, tech field, then you are going to have your student loans forgiven, or we're going to pay for your student loans up front so you can go to school at no cost or minimal cost. And we're going to get as many Americans into these positions as we can as quickly as possible. And then these other people can work in their home countries. You know, we're not against immigration, but we want Americans to do these jobs because these are good jobs. Imagine the support that a Donald Trump or Joe Biden had done the same thing would get from the American people. But instead, we know Donald Trump doesn't care about that. He just cares about the money that he's getting from these large companies and the money that he's getting from Elon Musk. So he's going to do whatever benefits Elon Musk and the other tech bros to exploit workers from these other countries. That's it. That's all it is. And how sad is it that we basically can't have anything good in this country because all of these rich assholes like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy own our politicians and they own the country. Let me know what you think in the comments about all of this. Do you agree with Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland, Matleck on the Majority Report, and Bernie Sanders on all of this? This is Chris on Culture. I will see you in the next video.